because I look like I'm thoroughly pink this evening, but that's okay, because, let me load up the old iPad, it's time for the Simpsons Tapped Out silly design starring you and your towns. My name is the Adipose, and well done for making it here at this time, which may be at a slightly different time zone. I'm not entirely sure, because it's British summertime here right now, which might mean it's a slightly different time for you to be here. So well done for making it for the stream. I hope you have had a good week. Yeah, feels like quite a while since we did our last show. Let me just sort out this camera just a little bit, make myself just a little bit less red. There we go, and just a little bit more orange. Hell yeah, I was pink. I know when I'm pink. I don't want to be pink. I had pink eye before, and it sucked. We need to open the vault. Kabang. Now, with that massive boom, you are now earning yourself Addy Gold. 1 Addy Gold every 5 minutes. And I've actually changed it slightly since last week, because now, even when I'm not streaming, if the bot's on, which is probably for around 12 hours a day or so, you still earn Addy Gold, but you earn like 1 every half an hour. So if you're the kind of person that always has your PC on and stuff like that, then come on, stick it in the stream, earn yourself some Addy Gold, and you could win some prizes, or either you could get yourself featured on the stream instead, which would be great for to have some more of your designs featured. So this is the Simpsons Tapped Out. I'm just trying to get my iPad up on the screen here while we're chatting. City Design Show Extraordinaire. I hope you agree. Never before has there been a game which allows us so much customizability over little cartoon houses and little cartoon shops and buildings. And if, like me, you spend your days tapping away and architecting this and stuff, then this is the hour when we can come together, where we can truly be ourselves and debate and discuss the little car and the little ambulance and where exactly the fountain should go, and why do they only include the American flag without the flags of Britain and Scotland and Wales and Ireland and Utah, where we need the flag of Utah, otherwise the game is not complete. So, Simpsons Tapped Out. This week, we're doing landing zones. We are doing landing zones. Now, what the heck is a landing zone? You might have in your head, you might be kind of like, well, what's a landing zone, Addy? I don't understand. Now, a landing zone is, and I talked about it a bit about last week, it's the thing you first see when you enter your town, or perhaps when you enter someone else's town. See, I can move my camera wherever I want, so I can take it all the way over here to my little squidport, to stare at my little harbour bay there. I can come all the way down here. But then if I go to my friends list, and I then go back into my town, you'll see that it dumps me straight back where I was before. It always takes you back to exactly the same place. I'll show you, look, if I click home button, we'll go back in, and it'll be just next to my prison. Because now it won't be, and I'll be like, oh. Load, mystical, tapped out gods. There we are. There we are. Should be coming up on the screen. There you go. It always dumps you in exactly the same place. This is your landing zone. Okay, it's the bit that you see straight away. It's the bit that other people see straight away. And the only time that the landing zone moves, because you might be kind of thinking, well, is the landing zone always the same place? Is the only time your landing zone moves is if you buy new land. Now, if you are a fairly new tapper, then it's going. Oh, there goes the. There goes the camera, quite spectacularly. The only time your landing zone moves is if you buy new land. So if you're a fairly new tapper, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, anything up to kind of like level kind of 35, you will find your landing zone will move from time to time as you're expanding. But if, like me, you've now kind of battled your way all the way across to the edge, your landing zone shouldn't move. Now, the only time, I think I said this last week, the only time your landing zone ever really shifts is during special promotions. Obviously, now I've said this, there'll probably be a promotion next week, and it'll shift off. The only time I have known it change, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, is it was during the Christmas it was during the Christmas promotion where they had that tree, and that kind of became the new landing zone. But in this particular case, normally it will always pop up at the same place. Now you might be kind of thinking, well, why is the landing zone important? I mean, so what? Who cares? It's the bit that appears first. So what? Well, actually, I think your landing zone is actually really, really important, because it's the first thing you see every day. First of all, it's the bit that kind of welcomes you to your own town, and it's either the bit that you kind of go, yeah, my town is great, or it's the bit where you kind of go, this is our current promotion, or alternatively, it's the bit where you kind of go, oh man, my town still sucks. It's your introduction, but it's also the first bite of the cherry that someone has of your town as well. So, for example, if I add someone else. And people try and add me all the time from the videos and things like that, and most of the time I have to say no, because I don't kind of physically have room. But if I just pick someone at random, I'm going to go 3 more times and do the middle. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to pick the middle person, which is Kay, who I'm assuming is here. It's the first thing you see, and you've got friends on Simpsons tapped out. You know that when you go to someone's town, you're normally very nice about it and polite about it and stuff, but actually, you do make judgments about people's towns. You do kind of think, oh, this is a nice town, this isn't such a nice town, this is great, this is not great. And, your landing zone, right, as we can see right here, is the first thing that someone will see. And obviously once they've seen this, they can then start scrolling around and go up and down, or zoom in, or zoom out, or whatever. But your landing zone is the first thing that someone sees, all right? And that means that any judgment they make about your town, any kind of opinion they form of your town, initially comes from that, your landing zone. And there was some psychology thing, it's been around for years and years, but apparently you make something like 70% of your judgments about a person within the first 10 seconds of meeting them, or something like that. Within the first kind of glance at their appearance, what they're wearing, what their clothes are, what their face is, what their weight is, what their height is, what their ethnicity is, what their hair is, all that kind of stuff. And then the first conversation with them, we create 70% of our judgments about a person within the first, few moments of kind of meeting them. And to an extent, it's the same with a town. That first little kind of glance around you have, the first few buildings you see, the first few little items you spot. I mean, are they things that make you go... Are they things that make you kind of go, oh wow, this is a town, oh you've done a lovely job here? Or are they things that make you kind of go, I see what they've done here? Or even are there things that make you kind of go, oh, they're just a beginner or whatever? I mean, this is the importance of the landing zone, if you see what I mean. It's the thing that gives people a first impression of your town, which also means it's your first chance to show, your skill as a designer. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a safe place for you to be a Simpsons tapped out designer. Okay, you don't need to be ashamed of that. We aren't just players, friends. We are designers. Now come on, now put your hands in and say it with me. We are designers. We are designers. And, this is your first chance to show your design. Your first chance for you to kind of show that you are a designer. It's your first chance to show your own little bit of uniqueness, your flair, the bit to show whether you are a Reba or a Ruba, to show whether you are a potato or a potato, a tomato or a tomato. What is, your individual little kind of bit of flair and things like that. There's just loads and loads of... the landing zone's important. I know I'm selling it. I know I'm kind of rubbing the cheese into the pizza, or whatever made-up metaphor I want to come up with. But the yes, and the "We Are Designers" chants are coming into the chat there. I hope the hands are there out as well. But the landing zone is the first impression you make on anyone that comes to your town. So make it good. Don't just make it some random building. Don't just make it, that's ended up there then. Okay, don't just make it the back of something else. Take the time to make your landing zone superb. All right? And what we're going to be having a look at today, what we're going to be checking out today, is some people who have been kind enough to share their designs with me, and have been kind enough to share their designs now with you. People that have really gone out of their way to make a landing zone that makes you go, that's a landing zone. Now we're going to be checking out. A pretty wide variety of types of landing zone, because this is the other thing. This is the other thing about landing zones, is that there's so many choices. And I mean, what are you going to go for? I mean, let's think about the kind of things that you could put there. I mean, are you just going to put a building? Are you going to put a decoration? Are you going to put a collection of buildings? Are you going to put some sort of kind of 2D art design? Are you going to put something a bit more kind of technical or practical? Are you going to put a name? Are you going to put a flag? Are you going to put a picture? Are you going to put your favorite Simpsons building? Are you going to put your favorite Simpsons character? Are you going to put... Do you see what I'm saying? You know, landing zones have options. I mean, you know, let me show you a building here. Look, here's Kay's Gulp and Blow. You know, Kay has done a lovely gulp and blow, but at the end of the day, there's only so many ways you can do a gulp and blow. But your landing zone, there's a million ways you could do your landing zone. You know, and so it really is a chance for you to kind of be unique. All right, now let's get checking these out. Now, obviously, later on, we're going to have a giveaway. We're going to have our regular competition to get your town shown off in the stream next week. This week, we're going to be showing off the town of Wilky 1999, who's in the stream with us today. He won the raffle last week, so we're going to be checking out his town in a few moments. And as always, if we hit, I've lowered the target somewhat, if we hit 140 people at any point in tonight's stream, then I will be doing another AdiGold giveaway for a £10 Google Play voucher or a $10 Google Play voucher or Android. I will do my Android or Apple. I will do my best to get it into your local currency, but if I can't, I will just wire you $10 by PayPal, and then you can try and sort that out yourself. So the target for today is 140. So I would ask you, before we go any further, I have tweeted out that the stream has started. If you could retweet me, or, you know, shout it out in your house or whatever, I would really, really appreciate that. If you could do that now before we get any further, because, you know, at the moment we're on 95 people, which is amazing. Love it. It's definitely one of my biggest streams of the week. But if you want me to do a giveaway, I want to encourage you to help me grow. So tell your friends, let's get 140 in here before we finish, and I'll do a giveaway. We did it once before, and Emsy got herself a little target. She got herself a little gift card. All right. Right, well, let's go and check out Wilky's town, shall we? So Wilky won our giveaway last week, as you know, as you guys know that are regular viewers. You know, you give in your AdiGold. I draw out a name, and you get your town featured. We come up. We are going to rate it. We are going to say what we like. We are going to say what we don't like. We are going to, you know, see what we like that's kind of unique and stuff. So first of all, of course, we'll be taking a look at Wilky's landing zone, because that's the theme for today. And but Wilky's had all week to work on it. I know he's very, very excited. He was wonderfully excited to kind of win last week. So hopefully we're gonna have some really, really good stuff here to check out. So let us head in to Springfield de la Wilky. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, this is nice. It's this is one of those houses that's been faked backwards. If you look at it, he's done the house in such a way that he's covered up the kind of the doors and things like this, so it looks like it faces the other way. So it looks like a kind of little kind of village house with a collection of trees and gazebos and fountains around it. Nice idea. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that before. Very nice. These are the uniquely shaped houses. I think most people tend to go, you know, house, you know, all kind of in a row. Oh, the stream is acting up a little bit weirdly, isn't it? It's kind of twitching. I can just see someone there that's mentioned it, so I think that was Connor. So tell you what, before we go any further, let me just reboot my camera device, which I've had to do a few times. I will unplug, and I shall re-plug in again. And hopefully that will make a difference. If not, I can use a different connection method, but I will not let it glitch like that all through the stream, because I think that would be unpleasant. So we shall just do an awkward pause. If you could please place your hands together like this, if you could put your thumbs together like this and tap them, and if you could look into the upper right like this. And our awkward pause is complete. How's that? Let's look. Is it static? Is it still? Better? Are we happy? I think we are better. Yes, I've been thinking I need a new wire. I don't know if it's the wire or it's the connection. I'm hoping it's the wire, because if it's the wire, I can fix it. If it's not the wire, new iPad. Yeah, but this is quite a distinctive little kind of house style. Most people have house kind of in like one house, another house, another house, whereas you've actually got the garden out round the back and to the side as well, which is quite a distinctive way of doing the residential zones. It means you fit less houses in, but of course that doesn't matter at all. It's there's never been a rule that says you have to have many houses, and in some ways this actually makes your houses kind of look more unique as well. And wow, that's a heck of a forest. You must really like that style of tree. Tree. With a few, I love the way that one. Is that Nelson's house? I like the way Nelson's house is kind of just kind of poking out of the trees there. Just it's a little kind of houses poking up. Unique. This is quite cool. And a little fireworks box in the middle there. I mean, I think personally I'd like to see a little bit more variety in the trees, but actually I think maybe your forest is actually kind of more unique because you've actually kind of gone kind of mono tree. It makes the gaps in the tree look quite kind of square. I mean, what you might want to do to make the gaps look a bit more natural is kind of make your trees a bit more kind of sparse as you get kind of next to them. But then it might look a bit kind of less unique. But you could probably kind of put a few bushes in there to go kind of next to it. Let's come over here. What have we got? We got Moe's from last week. I think you could do a little bit more with Moe's. But however, I do see you've kind of gone for the kind of more downtrodden one. Oh, Madam Chow's. I haven't done my Madam Chow's yet. In fact, that's been sitting there for about a month now. So bad Addy. But yes, you've put together a little restaurant of love there. Which is very, very nice indeed. A little bit of house farming I can see over here. Brown houses, more brown houses, more of the brown. But we understand that. We need to make the money somehow, yes. Bit of lard lad. I like you use a lot of trees. I don't know about you guys, but I always feel that trees coming out of concrete kind of looks weird. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, maybe you could disagree, but I would say that the trees in the grass looks a lot more natural than that. However, it may well just be a kind of a stylistic kind of choice. But I personally would probably have a little kind of fiddle with that. You like car parks a lot. I mean, just kind of coming down across these few buildings. You know, we kind of got car parks. I think maybe you could lose one or two of the car parks, especially since you don't actually have many cars around. Because there's a lot more things you can do. I mean, my town has very few car parks these days. I mean, or maybe when I do, it tends to be kind of 2 or 3 in a row. So I would, and when you've got time and when you've got kind of other ideas, I would take some of them out. Oh, that's a nice entrance to the Bachelor Arms. Wow, you've really kind of made that building look quite, important. Which is pretty cool. You clearly like the kind of regimented thing. You had it very regimented with your kind of forest, and now you've got a very regimented kind of trees. When it's very kind of lanes and lanes. It's distinctive. It's definitely distinctive. Oh, and I like the way. In fact, coming down here, you actually got the same pattern thing with the Bachelor Arms, and then with the mobster's house, and then with the trees and various other little kind of bits as well. So I really like that kind of. I really like the way it works, because having all of those houses kind of following the same pattern makes it look like quite a kind of rich area. Right. What else have we got down here? Very nice little school. Obviously, there's a few buildings here that still need a bit of kind of development, I think, but the school is kind of nicely put together, a bit of an educational expansion. The Springfield Office of Employment. Yes, a bit of a dull building, that one. And I guess we've got more car parks over here. Oh, you've got to do more with your Springfield Downs, my friend. Check out our city. That was one of the first live streams we ever did. In fact, it might have been the first live stream we ever did. Was the Springfield Downs. You can do some brilliant kind of 3D sitting. Oh my god, the entire bottom of this area is car parks. Dude, car parks? Really? Prison, very, very cool. Obviously, this bit needs a bit more development. Can't read that. Go to something. Oh, hi, TheAdiposeTV. Hello, we are here. Thank you for the welcome. I appreciate it, my friend. Yes, I would say that you have got some really nice house designs especially. There's some good buildings there, but I think you need to get some more variety into your car parks and your trees. I think having a forest quite regimented is good, but then maybe break up the kind of regimentedness in other places. Vary the type of trees, or do different things other than kind of car parks. But there's some good stuff here. You've clearly spent a lot of time on it. You've got some variety in your designs in some areas, and then in other places, I think you've definitely got too much car parks. Lose your car parks. Ban yourself from car parks. Oh, this is nice as well. The way the kind of path through the trees there kind of takes you from one area to another, which is good. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think of Wilky's town? If you were going to give him some advice, what would you say? Did you spot anything you particularly liked? Give him a star and a wish. Hey, Wilky, I liked this, but I think you need to work on this. I mean, we're all designers here together. Hands in. We are designers. So use your design ability, friends. Tell him one thing you liked and one thing you think that he or she. Sorry, I don't actually know the gender. Should work on. Hey, Steve-O, check your tapped out invites before you get too engrossed in the stream. And it looks like Little Bean has decided to join me. It looks like you've got a little cat over my shoulder there for you to enjoy. All right, boys and girls, we're going to take a quick break, and I'll be back, and we'll get started on our landing zones. And we're back. Did you miss me? Because I missed you. Yes. You. Alright. Just want to say something before we move on. Two things. First of all, the chat below me here, if you want your name in a different colour, it'll cost you 30 Addy Gold for a month. And loads of you do it, and loads of you have done it. But it's 30 days, and I can see a lot of people's colours have expired. Please, if you've never done it before, I'll show you how to now, and if you have done it in the past, it might be time for you to pick a colour. It'll cost you 30 Addy Gold. If you want to check your Addy Gold, you type !Addy Gold, and after somewhere up to a minute, the bot will reply. It can't flood off type thing. But if you want to get a colour, let me just bring it up. I could probably take it up to the bottom of your screen here. I think it's Control. Okay, there we go. There's the colours that you can have your username in if you wish, or someone can type !colour as well, and they can kind of pop up. You can't have white or black, and you can't have 15 because they are reserved for the bot. But you can have any other colour for your nickname, and it's 30 Addy Gold. Most people have done it, and it definitely makes your name stand out. And when I'm kind of glancing at the stream, I often kind of miss the ones that are in white. I'm not saying I'm not going to read it out if you're white. I'm not saying that at all, because I try and reply to as many as I can. But it helps you have a kind of a distinctive identity, because I don't read from the Twitch chat. I read from the chat that you are looking there. So the more you can make yourself stand out, perhaps the kind of better. If you want to buy yourself a colour, then the command you need to use, if I remind myself here, Laura, what's the command for this one? I've forgotten my own command. That's rather embarrassing. Let me just check that out. It's !Addy Store space rent colour space, and then the number of the colour that you want, and it'll automatically charge you the Addy Gold and that thing. So !Addy Gold space rent colour space, and then the number of the colour you want. I'll just put those colours back up again so you can have a look. You can also do the same with icons, but we'll talk about that another time, because I don't want to just talk about the store. But you'll see there I can just see V at the bottom there. V's got a colour and an icon. Jenny's got a colour and an icon. Style's got a colour and an infinity icon. Hues of blue. My lovely mod has a blue colour and a cool little knight chess piece icon. You know, for 60 added gold, you can give yourself a reasonably kind of unique identity. Alright, let's get cracking with our landing zones. I'll show you a few landing zones, and then we'll get right back into, and then we'll do our raffle for next week. Alright, boys and girls. Now, I would like to show, first of all, one of a lovely designer and a lovely person who is part of the Tapped Out Addicts website. This is one of Bunny's account, and obviously we are reaching very, very close to Easter. Now just look at this beautiful bit of 2D art. In fact, you might even need to go onto like one of those websites like Spanders or kind of see a screenshot to truly kind of appreciate this. But what we've got here as a landing zone is an absolutely fantastic a piece of 2D art using all sorts of objects. I mean, if you zoom in on here, you can see these are just objects, okay? These aren't like special artistic tools. So if you look at this and going to go, where did she get the colours? You know, I mean, that's a dustbin. That's a, you know, that little kind of ice statue. They are pumpkins and snapdragons. They're bushes. And if we just kind of zoom out, you can see that when you zoom out, a bit like one of those magic eye pictures, as you zoom out, it all kind of merges into one, and all of a sudden you got a picture of an Easter bunny with a carrot and a little basket to kind of take away. It's an absolutely beautiful design and a very distinctive landing zone. I mean, remember the whole point of this is to kind of say, you know, when you kind of go into someone's town, what's the first thing you see? And if this is the first thing you see, then instantly you're hooked, aren't you? Instantly it's like, oh, this is a talented little designer. You know, this is a good little well, more than a good little, but you know, it's something you're going to remember. You're going to be like, hey, I remember that person had the Easter bunny here. And of course, this is a seasonal one as well. And so if you go into this person's town, then you know you've got a you know, someone that updates it regularly. In fact, Bunny was the one that did. If you remember, there was a picture of a little adipose a few kind of months back, and she was the one that did that as well. So she's an excellent 2D designer and a very, very, very distinctive landing zone. If you would like to chuck Bunny some marks, that would be great. Matthew says, I sound Irish when I said basket. I don't understand what you're saying. I always sound English all the time. I'm very, very, you know, enunciating everything properly, including my basket. Okay. Toxic Shark says sexy too. If you're into bunnies, I suppose it is. Let's have a look at another one, shall we? I'll try and vary these because there's several different types of landing zone. Let me show you now something completely different. I think we'll kind of go alphabetical today. But today with showing landing zones, I think we're going to see quite a lot of towns today. So if you've put a design up, you may well have a chance of getting yourself seen. So let's have a look. Sorry, M, did you ask me something I saw you asked me something earlier, but it's flown past, so I can't see. Now this is Becca's. Now Becca hasn't got in particular like a landing zone that she's kind of picked out to be different to everything else. But what she has got is just a really good design in the middle of her town. It's this kind of distinctive kind of swamp thing, which I don't think I've kind of seen before, apart from in her town. You know, she's got these kind of little kind of stepping stones around the place, which then combined with the kind of marshland over here and various statues, and the Guinea Pig Rescue Centre, which has to be one of my favourite buildings ever in the history of Tapped Out. So you can absolutely just do a landing zone, which is just a really nice part of your town, and there is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing shameful in that. You know, if you looked at that piece of 2D art and you kind of thought, oh man, I'm not sure I can do that, you don't have to. You know, a landing zone can just be a really nice part of your town, but I wouldn't make it be one of those bits where that, you know, I haven't finished building that one yet, or it's a design you're not really happy with, or even just a dull building. You know, I wouldn't put, I don't know, what's a dull building? You know, there's that cafe that's just very bland, or maybe the unemployment office. You know, I wouldn't put them in the middle of your town, because if the first person someone sees is the unemployment office, first of all, it's kind of like, oh, there's a bit too much reality. And secondly, you know, even if you made a really good unemployment office, it's still a fairly dull employment office. But if it's a guinea pig rescue centre with Camp Krusty behind it, a strange bit of swampland, a totem pole, and a pumpkin house, then there is a landing zone. You know what I mean? There is a landing zone. All right. What's going on in the chat? You guys are saying stop with the improper fractional scores. Please check my sound on Skype. My sound on Skype? I'm confuzzled. And excellent. Now people are having a fractions fight. Do you want to give that some marks, ladies and gents? What did you think of Becker Lake's landing zone and those particular designs then? Have I sold you on it or not? Did you like it or not? Let's carry on with the alphabet. Let's head on to Corkhopper's town. Corkhopper, I've shown quite a few times now. He's active on, I hope I get this one right, he's active on Tapped Out Forum, TSTO Forum. I think that's where he's active. Apologies if I got that one wrong. I've shown his town quite a lot of times because actually he's pretty unique and he tends to be doing the things that I am personally kind of putting together. So let's have a look at his landing zone. He has used, and quite a lot of people have done this, he's used the town hall. And quite a few people have gone town halls, and I've got quite a few more town halls I'm going to be showing you later. But it works nicely as a centerpiece, town hall, because obviously town hall is supposed to be like the center of the community, the bit where everyone kind of communicates and they deal with the kind of the town problems. So by kind of having a boom. Okay, yeah, but so by having a town hall as the landing zone, it works really nicely from kind of a from a logical point of view as well, if that makes sense. It's the center of your town. So why not make it the landing zone? It's the place, and it's a beautiful building as well, the town hall. It's a nice distinctive one, and Corkhopper has paired it next to, I think, please correct me if I'm wrong on this one, I think it's the Museum of History, I think, or is it the courthouse? It might be the courthouse. I don't know. It's one of those two, but either way, they're both very kind of like civil buildings, and they work nicely as a pair together, and they also work nicely as a pair for a landing zone. And it's a lovely little design as well. I think I actually showed this design when we did the parks kind of at the time. We've got a school, police station kind of nearby as well. This is clearly a busy little hub, but in particular, I think the camera was positioned more or less like that. That's the landing zone, and it's just two appropriate, good-looking, well-designed buildings which give us a nice landing zone. Alright, so what do you think of that? Give it a rating. This is Corkhopper's landing zone. Do you like it? Will you do something similar? Do you already have something similar? I know some of you do, because I'm going to be showing it off in a minute. Right. Do you want your town shown off next week on my stream? When Wilky was being shown this morning, earlier on in the stream, were you kind of like, man, I wish that was me? Well, this is your opportunity, because we're going to open our raffle right now. The way you get yourself shown as a featured town is you have to win the raffle. I'm going to open the raffle right now. The way you do it... The way you do it is that you enter a raffle by buying tickets. You buy tickets with Addy Gold. You can buy as many raffle tickets as you want, up to the total amount of Addy Gold you have. The more tickets you buy, the more chance you have of winning, but of course, you could win it with just a lucky one number. You can check your Addy Gold by going !Addy Gold, and the bot will reply to you sometime in the next minute. I'll leave the entries open for a while. We'll have an advert in a second, and I'll scarily drink some water off screen as well, because I can see that freaked some of you out before. Might even start humming la 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 and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and once you've checked your Addy Gold, you buy tickets. Buy, just like Laura and others have done just then, ! Raffle tickets, space, and then the number of tickets you want. So for argument's sake, if you've got 20 Addy Gold, you could type ! Raffle ticket, space, 10, to spend half of your Addy Gold on tickets, and then you've got 10 tickets, and you've got 10 chances to win. The only other rule is, you must be following the channel. Okay, you must be following the channel on Twitch. If you're not following it on Twitch, forget about it. The bot will not pick you. But you don't have to be following before you enter the raffle. You can enter the raffle and then hit the follow button, and that is fine. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back in a minute. If you've got any questions, ask me in the chat, and either myself or The mods, sorry, mental block there. My lovely mods, Laura M or Hughes, will answer your questions on that. Wolf's just asked and said, "What about showing off people's Krusty Land?" If you win the raffle, you can tell me that you want me to look at your Krusty Land rather than your town, or your Springfield in particular, rather than the rest of your town. That's fine. You can direct me. It is your town. Right, I will be back in 1 minute. Right, boys and girls, we're back. Oh, my iPad's gone to sleep. I was just having a nice little doze here, resting my weary eyes. So what do you think of landing zones? I really like the idea of landing zones. I actually went through my whole friends list today, or through the whole lot, and found some really cool little kind of landing zones, which is quite cool. So I like this one. I also have a bit of sad news for some of you, I'm afraid. I have completely run out of space in my Origins friends list, and to the point that I was actually trying to add Wilky today for the show, and I couldn't get him on. So today I went look at the sideshow bomb running across the water there. So today I went through, and anyone's town that either they clearly haven't done anything with it for a while, or it was empty in loads of different places, or perhaps I only added you to kind of show you off on one particular stream, or just like there are other examples of similar things that perhaps in my view were just a little bit better. I'm afraid I had a cull, and I took about 20 people off. If it's you that I have taken off, please do not be offended. It is nothing personal. I simply went through and had to remove. I needed space, quite frankly. It doesn't mean I won't add you again. If I have taken you off, it doesn't mean you can't still enter. I'm expecting to re-add people. So if you have a design next week I want to show, I will add you back on like a shot. Nothing is permanent and things like that. And if Origin had infinite spaces, I would just, I would keep everyone on, but sadly it doesn't. So I hope you understand it. It's nothing personal. Good designs will get on every time, and good designs will get you back on. So if that has affected you this time, or if indeed in the future you just suddenly find that Adipose has disappeared from your friendships list, that is why. Unless you have actually stabbed my mother in the middle of the night or insulted my wife, it is nothing personal, and is just that I needed the room. So I hope you understand, and if that has applied to you, then sorry. Let's go check out some more landing zones, shall we? Now let's go to my friend and your friend and my friend. We're going to go to Corky. Now, Corky has got another idea that I think is quite unique in terms of in terms of the... Oh, I'm not a yellow blob. Who called me a yellow blob? You're a yellow blob. Okay, this is what Corky's done. Now, Corky has done something which is perhaps a bit more practical than kind of beautiful, if that makes sense. And he's done two things here that I think are actually quite important. The first thing he has as an idea, he's got a whacking day thing there. Now, whacking day may or may not be the next kind of promotion, and therefore what he's done in the first half is he's put together something current in the middle of his town. Nice idea. Pretty good, and you know, it means that whoever kind of comes in is going to see the brand new bang up to date stuff, and also means if people need the whacking day stuff during that promotion, it's right there. The second thing he's got, if you look kind of at this angle, is he's got an arrow. Now, what could possibly be in the arrow? Let's scroll down. It's a load of brown houses. Now, you might kind of think, well, why on earth has he got a load of brown houses? Why is there a load of you know, an arrow pointing to brown house? What's the point of that? Well, think about it. Why do people come to your house, to come to your town? Well, first of all, to admire the beauty of it, but let's be honest, they're probably looking for friendship points, and if they need friendship points, they need things that are going to be recharging and rebooting regularly, hence the brown houses. So the arrow is actually there, as far as I can see from the design, is there to point people to the brown houses, which is more likely to give people things that they can click on, get their friendship points, get their bloody elephant and a lighthouse, and get out there as quickly as possible. So this is an example of a practical landing zone, which actually has to be said is very pretty as well. I really like the Whacking Day little kind of park there. I think it's good. So I'm not saying it's ugly. Corky, if you're here, I like the design, but I really wanted to show this one because of the practical element to it as well. You know, dear friends, welcome to my town, and here is the place where you can tap to get your friendship points. It's a really, really good idea. If we could get some grades for this idea, that would be fantastic. Mark it out of 10. Tell them something you liked. That would be great. Oh, Corky's saying it's pointing to Earl. Oh. Well, clearly it's not pointing. It's clearly not pointing to Earl. You've missed, and that ruined my whole spiel. I was complimenting your genius, and apparently he's not genius. So there you go. Ignore everything I just said. Give him like a 1 out of 10. Be done with it. There we go. I can be camp too. In fact, I'm just going to click on here and get some friendship points to spite you. Ha! Right, moving on. Moving on to some more people. We'll go on nice and fast. Now, moving on from obviously, Corky had written the word Earl there, and you can do text with the plants and various decorations and things as well. And another person that has taken this text idea and come up with something quite beautiful is Clarence, who is very, very active over on Tapped Out Forum. And what Clarence has put together is a welcome sign. How cool is that? Landing zone launches you right on a really, really nice kind of middle of the town decoration that says, "Welcome, dear brother. Come to my town. Welcome to my domain. You are at home here." Stuck an American flag right in the middle of it, and this one's just for Wookie. There we go, and you know, and he's got his little kind of various bits and bobs, and the town are kind of around there, and Christmas trees and things like that. But the main thing is just a lovely welcome message saying, "Hey, welcome to my town." I think that's a really it's nicely put together as well. It's not just like a bit of text kind of in the middle of a field saying, you know, a random name or something like that. You know, it's actually a well-decorated welcome sign as well. Like you do get sometimes when you go to various kind of city centres and things, you get like, you know, like Essex, London, Harrow, Watford, you know, kind of put in kind of pretty bushes and things like that, and that's what we've kind of done in that one as well, which I think is really, really nice. Let's go look at more. So many landing zones to see. I'm going to see if I can get through the lot in the next 10 minutes. We'll have to see. Right, let's go to Erin. Erin had a cool one. Erin's one is another town hall based design. And wow, why did my background just go blue? Why is it blue? It was blue. This is Erin's. Erin is gone with the kind of well, sorry, not the town. Yeah, sorry, yeah, the town hall, civic buildings, courthouse design in a kind of a big row of 3. It dumps you right here on a. Sorry, dumps the wrong word. It delicately places you upon the kind of buildings there, which I think is just a really nice, well-decorated building. I also like the way it's kind of framed. I don't know if it's deliberate or an accident, but hey, go with it. You know, it nicely kind of frames those buildings as you come in, which works really, really nicely. Yes, I got Wookie to clap. which works really, really nicely as well. So let's carry on. Let's see how many we can do. Oh, the next one's good. You're going to really like the next one. Why has it gone green? What's going on with the colours? This is Gotham Girls one. Gotham Girl is also from the Tapped Out forum. By the way, now it's blue again. What's going on? This is all of the people I've shown tonight are either from tappedout.co.uk. I want to make sure I plug everyone here. Tappedout.co.uk, or they're from the Tapped Out forum, or they're from the official EA forum. Those are the three big sites, except Bunny, of course, and Wookie, of course. Bunny and Wookie, who are from Tapped Out Addicts, and Nathan, of course, who's with us as well, is also from Tapped Out Topics. And Simpsons has crashed. Excellent. I think, have I plugged everyone and everything? If there's anyone that feels they haven't been plugged yet. Oh, and of course, Wolfman is here as well from Tapped Out Friends over on Facebook. There you go. I plugged the whole world. Go and have a look at the internet, okay, if you want to know about any stuff. There we go. I now have officially plugged everyone and everyone's site ever. Well done to Style, who's carefully tried to put the tappedout.co.uk link but spelt it wrong. But of course, if you do put links, I will beat you to death with the wet end. Right, let's go and check out some more landing zones. I told you how much you were going to like Gotham Girl's design, and then it didn't load, which is kind of awkward, really. You'll love this. Look, it crashed. Or did we get into Gotham Girls? I've forgotten where we've been now. Comms, you know when you reach that age when you're kind of like, I don't know what I've just done. It's like that thing where you're holding the remote control and you're watching TV, and then you leave to get something and you come back 3 seconds later and goes, where's the remote control? Where is the remote control? I had it and now it's not here. And then 3 hours later you find it in the fridge or something like that. Or, here's another thing that's irritating. People that keep the TV remote control next to the TV. What is the point? Think of it. What is the point? What is a remote control for? So why would you keep it next to the TV? Anyway, I love this one. This is a great landing zone. It's, again, town hall design. Lots of people use town halls. No problem with that. But this time, we've gone with a double whammy combo and put it together with Jebediah Springfield and 4 cubes of hedge. And it looks really, really nice. This time we've got a kind of little... I don't know how you kind of call it, kind of like a town centre idea with kind of shops and things like that. We've got the Liberty Bell in there as well, but it's just you know how I was saying, like, the landing zone is your first opportunity to get like a, people to wow when they come into your town, and the first chance to show your kind of uniqueness. This is a good one. This is something. This isn't like like a welcome sign or anything like that. But if you're just making to look, people kind of go, "Oh, this is a well-designed town." This, I think, is a kind of a masterclass in doing it, which I think is a good one. So well done, and thank you to Gotham Girl for allowing me to show you that one. And actually, someone that had something very, very similar to that is M, who's one of our lovely mods here, and I'll show her design in just a quick second as we kind of fly our way through. Another quick one, this is Indy, who I've shown a few times before. Indy also went down the kind of, I've been calling them, in my notes to myself, I've called them kind of vanity symbols, but I don't mean that in terms of in a negative way, but what I mean is, something kind of distinctive, something that's very much, him or her, a label, a logo, a picture, or in this case, a big flaming name. You ever heard that phrase, you want to see your name in lights? Well, Indy said, yes, I do, and here it is. Watch me glow. And I think it looks really, really cool, and just to kind of, I like the way that Indy's kind of gone, you know what, I don't think my name sparkles quite enough. Let's put a large diamond next to my name. Now it sparkles enough. And various Hindu deities kind of standing around going, ah, yes, Indy, I see how glowing you are. But I like it. It's distinctive. It's a landing zone. It's memorable, which is great. Right, before we show some more landing zones, raffle time. Raffle time. Thank you, Wilky, for reminding me. I shall close the entries right now. Bang, bang, bang. I shall start the tombola. The names will fly past on the screen. The more tickets you have bought, the more chance of your name will be called. If you what was the phrase? You need to be following the channel twitch.tv/TheAdiposeTV. Otherwise, it won't. otherwise it won't pick you. And I've just spotted Mitzi Tats saying, what's worse is when you're watching adverts and forget what program you're watching. Yeah, that is bad. That's really bad. Yeah, you should probably see someone for that. That's not a joke. That's actually quite worrying. All right, good luck to everyone, boys and girls. And if you don't win commiserations, there will always be another opportunity. So today's oh yeah, Delav A7 or Delava. Delav A7 or Delava 7. I'm not sure how to pronounce that one, I'm afraid. But congratulations, Delava 7. You will be featured on next week's show. What I need you to do, I hope you're listening. What I need you to do is to send me a Twitch direct message after the stream with your origin name. Make sure it's spelt absolutely correctly. And then add me on Origin, the Adipose, but make sure you send me the Twitch message as well, otherwise my normal kind of decline button will go into overdrive, you know, because what I tend to, every day I wake up and I load up The Simpsons, I load up Origin, I'm like, decline, 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 and sometimes in a scale, you know, decline, 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 which was actually a pentatonic scale for those of you that are keeping count on the whole music thing. But you need to let me know what it is through Twitch direct message so I can check it and I can grab you there as well. So well done to you. Commiserations to others of you that didn't win, but don't worry, there will be other occasions. Tonight may not be your night, but tomorrow could be. Obviously there isn't a stream for Simpsons Tapped Out on tomorrow night, but hey, there'll probably be an Adipose stream. Oh yeah, if you'll permit me, ladies and gentlemen, I will show some more landing zones. But I do stream and I do stuff on YouTube lots of the other time as well. Whether it's PC games, racing games, building games, wrestling games, goofy games, Heyday, Boom Beach, everything. I do a little bit of everything. So please follow me on the channel. Please follow my Twitter because I always tweet out what I'm doing. And if you fancy watching something that isn't Simpsons Tapped Out, come along and join me. You might like it. You might not. You might hate it. You might be like, that was awful. God, that was awful. Is that the same guy that does Simpsons? It can't be. That was terrible. But come along, try. You won't know if it's awful unless you come. Where am I going to go? Dripper Johnny from last week. Johnny had a good little city, and Johnny's also got a good little landing zone as well. Addy, can I move my mouse pointer? Oh, there's my mouse pointer. Is it annoying if I just whiz my mouse pointer around? This one hurts my head, so now it's going to hurt your head as well. He's written the word tap, and then he's put a spiral on it, and it's kind of like you're being sucked into it. You know, it's kind of like, you know, you're... Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like you're kind of looking at it, but at the same time, you know, it kind of makes you kind of spin around. I mean, if you're kind of, you know, looking at it, but while you're kind of looking at it, it's like it's making you kind of go round as you're kind of looking at it, and you know, the more you kind of look at it, the more you're gonna think, oh my God, I'm going round and around and around and around and around, until you then go to someone else's landing zone. I don't think necessarily that this was actually Johnny was actually the one that started us off on the whole landing zone thing last week, because he actually has this kind of wonderful frame, and he's decided to just put the word tap. And a spiral in there as well. But it's cool. It's distinctive, you know, and I think that's half the battle. Sometimes it's it's getting something memorable in there, which goes really, really nice. You know, this is Land of Comedies. There's just lots of people laughing. It's an entire nation of laughter. Just picture, you know, a whole stadium giggling, and you haven't even got to a tenth of what a land of comedy would be. Addy, your headphones are focused, but you are always a blurry yellow blob. Do you think that maybe you have Vaseline on your screen, and that's why I look like a big yellow blob? Maybe. Do you think that could be the case, Vaseline? And now you need to ask yourself, why is it there? What did you do? You know what you did, and that's why there's Vaseline. Okay, this is whoever's town I'm in. This is Land of Comedies. How's that for a landing zone? I mean, come on, that is just a really, really good design. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, there's nothing kind of that screams out, you know, there's not a name, there's not a logo, anything like that, but it's something you go in there and just instantly you're like, oh, I'm in a good town. You know that feeling? You know when you go around a friend's person's house and you're kind of like, oh, this is a good town. I'm in a good place here. And how have they done that? Look, Jebediah Springfield, right in the centre of the landing zone, right there. I mean, that's not an accident, is it? You know, that is not an accident. Land of Comedy lined that up to make sure you got Jebediah there, right in the centre. You know, to go there next to the town hall and the post office and the Asia Chicuba, but it looks great. Good landing zone. Well done. Now the next one, we have missed out one important thing that you could do with a landing zone. We might have missed more, but this is a good one. This is Mel Designers, and as soon as you see this one, as soon as you see this landing zone, you're going to go, oh yeah, of course. Have a look. Mel Designer. I haven't shown Mel Designer for a long time, but I saw this one this morning and I was like, yeah, this is a land zone. So what do you think? Let me just get these out of the way. Of course. Because one thing you could put in the middle of your landing zone, the centre of your world, the centre of your Springfield, is of course the centre of the show, which is The Simpsons. And what Mel Designer has put right in the middle of the landing zone is The Simpsons house, along with Homer doing nunchuck ninja type stuff. Which is a great idea, and I don't know, have you got it as well? Are you doing the whole, like, of course, you know, type thing? It just makes perfect sense. The Simpsons house right in the middle of your town. I mean, first of all, it's a great design as well. Now, Mel Designer is one of these awkward people who he clearly is a genius, but every like month or so seems to go, no, it's terrible, it's all awful, and just deletes the whole thing. And if I come up, it's completely empty. But in the tiny bit that Mel has done, you're just already kind of going, say what? You got this kind of like 3D esque path up into the woods. You know, Mel is an incredible designer, and I would show her off more if she actually had a town in place. But I think that's a brilliant idea to put the Simpsons town there, and it's a really well done as well. And I'm not a blurry yellow blob, Whovians. Right. Strange. We've got time for a few more. Now Nathan Rushton, who is a big part of the Simpsons topics website, also has a Simpsons house centrally. So let's go and check that one out. Nathan is obviously a big part of their kind of giveaways and their blogs. I've shown his house on numerous occasions. His Simpsons house is slightly off-centre, but what basically we've kind of got here is it's focused on his residential area, which obviously includes the Simpsons house, which now, of course, has Homer's house. And have you noticed how much better the Simpsons house layout looks now? You can actually put Homer's car right next to it, or Marge's car. But there you go. So there's another example. Like, it doesn't just have to be a solo Simpsons house. It can just be your residential area. But it works really nicely. I'm sorry, Mitzi, I hadn't checked. Thanks for doing the legwork there for me. Let's go and check out M's, because I did mention M's landing zone earlier. Now M also has a town square. Now what's really nice about M's town square is I think it's water based. So again, we've got the town hall. Lots of people have a town hall there. Nothing wrong with that. Like I've said, it's a popular design. But she has got a wonderful kind of frame for it, and that frame is done with the vast majority of the kind of shops and stuff. So if I just put you in the middle there for a second, so you can see kind of how the design works. You've got the town hall in the middle, well designed. Moat, basically, think of it as a kind of a castle, and then around the moat you've got a road, and around the road you have all of these little shops and businesses and various kind of utility buildings and kind of things like that, which is a brilliant landing zone. Again, it's one of those ones that makes you kind of go, ooh, this is a good town. It's a simple idea, but again, it's one of those simple ideas that you kind of go, well, why didn't I think of that? Or why isn't this kind of more popular? Because it's actually a really good idea. And I haven't actually seen many kind of square or squares like this. A lot of people tend to work in kind of strips or maybe corners, but what M's done quite cleverly is has kind of a double road design here on the underside, which means she can have the shops on the downside and it still makes sense because they're facing like a different bit of road, so it works really nicely. So great design, great landing zone, and great eyes. Okay, let's have a look at a couple more. We're running over time, but let's keep going. This is Mitzi's, who I just abused. Mitzi has a awesome fountain. Fountain? I went all Cockney there. All right. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go check out Mitzi's one. Mitzi's also got town hall and a courthouse, but she's got a pink fountain in the middle there as well. I love it. It's a great landing zone, and just look how busy her town is. With all these people kind of flying around and busy with, Mike Tyson with a tiger and everyone combing their hair and bees buzzing and stuff like that. Truly a live town, focused on a fountain of love, as if to say, "Come hither, welcome to my town, bathe in my fountain of love." And this is the kind of town where the euphemisms just flow from every orifice. Is that Sanjay on a skateboard? I haven't really bothered doing anything with Sanjay because I don't really understand why he's in the game. But that's quite a cool little animation. I like it. And there's Chalmers in a dress, as you do, as you do. Do I have any more to show you? Do I have any more for you to see? Well, I did say that appealing to my ego always gets you on the show, so I suppose just for a quick glance we had better head over to Brettus's design, and who's kind of, he says it's an adipose. I'm not so sure it's an adipose. I mean, maybe I'm kind of bigging myself up here, but if I just put my face, there, I don't know, are we seeing a mirror? Maybe if I kind of tilt my head and maybe try and do the same expression. What do we think? Is it the same? I'm not so sure. But he says that it's another version of me. So hey, if people are going to put me in their towns, then hey, I'm going to go with it. It's free advertising. Why not? Revenue. I did not sound like a massive perv just then, did I? My wife tells me that off of that all the time. She's told me that not for sounding like a massive perv. No, that came out wrong. Oh God, so did that. Oh God, no. My wife tells me off all the time for having really dodgy opening lines. I think I've mentioned this before, like saying things like, "Well, fancy seeing you here," at the beginning of streams and stuff. She just says I can't say them because they sound awful. Another design I have to show you before we go is Mr. Wilky, who's our lovely note taker in the stream. He's down there on the right hand side. Hopefully he's scribbling away. Don't forget to go over to tapped.co.uk afterwards and see what highlights of the stream he has spotted for us today. And it's a what can I say? It is a Wookiee. Wookiee decided that he needed to Star Wars up his life a little bit more by drawing a massive green version of himself to welcome, or indeed, in fact, to scare off anyone that comes to his town. It's kind of a case of... I like the teeth. At least I think they're teeth, but they're kind of teeth, but they're kind of like broken teeth as well, and they're broken up with two little bunnies. Like, is the Wookiee eating the bunnies? I'm not so sure, but it's scary. But you can tell if you kind of move away really, really far and squint at it, and then turn your head. It's kind of like, oh yeah, it is actually. It's a Wookiee from Star Wars, which is really cool. And we got our first Seems Legit. Oh, it's cool. Always good to see. Always good to see internet memes popping themselves up here. I used to be a designer and Simpsons tapped out, but then I took an arrow to the knee. All that kind of stuff. We need to get those in. Wookiee's chewing on the bunnies. It's eating the bunny rabbit. Kinda, but it is really, really well done. But he's also kind of scarily looking up to the northwest, which means he's checking out whatever character that is before we finish. So there we go, ladies and gents. That was Landing Zones. I hope you enjoyed this little look at something just a little bit different today. It was, not a particular building, but seeing what different people do with that opening spot of the town. So what about you? Over to you, my friends. What are you going to do? Are you with your landing zone? Are you going to leave it as it is, just a kind of a random area? Or are you going to put a picture of yourself? Are you going to put a big welcome sign? Are you going to put a really nicely decorated building? Are you going to put a flag to your country? Are you going to, what are you going to do? Oh, I've missed one. I have missed one. There was a big... No, I've missed two. I carry on one second. There was one with a Canada flag, but I've forgotten who it was. I think it was someone on tapped.out.co.uk had a big Canada design. No. But I've forgotten who it was, and I meant to show that one, and I apologise, but it was really, really good because that reminded me when I said national flag. Someone has a the maple leaf of Canada, which looked really, 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 really good. And as he's just added me, we can actually do, before we go, we can just show Steve-O's as well, who's decided that actually what the world needs is just a little bit more sports. And Whovians, that's not true. I have giveaways all the time. I have giveaways. I gave out a Sid Meier game earlier in the week. I've just got some more. What else did we give out? We gave out an iPad bundle last weekend. We do giveaways all the time. My rule in the Simpsons stream is just I want us to get to 140. I give away more than PC than games and stuff in this stream. I give away dreams. I give away fame. I give away international notoriety. You know, if you come on here, you know, you become more than famous if you get your town streamed here. You become beyond famous, infamous. That's what you become if you get streamed here. You know, infamy is beckoning for you, my friend. And this is Steve-O's design. It's a racetrack. How cool is that for a landing zone? Just dump you straight on to the F1 course. I think the car may possibly struggle with some of the turns. It may crash a little bit, but that's okay because there's a pit lane. You can just head straight into the pits, fill up on the gas, and get right back to racing. Very, 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 very cool indeed. Which we might give away. Good. Style is taking on Whovian for me. So well done, Style. You carry on. You take it down. Who gives away a creepy aura? Do I give away a creepy aura? I'm confused. Anyway, that was today's stream. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've had a good time. I've had a great time. So in a sense, it doesn't really matter whether you did. Do give this one a rating. I just saw Laura's little rating come through there. You know, do this give one a rating. If you have been inspired to make a landing zone, why don't you chuck me a message on one of the various websites, and I'll take a little look, maybe throw a little comment your way, or maybe even feature you next week if you have a little recap. I will put on to the various websites what the designs are for next week. I'll probably do that on kind of Tuesday and Wednesday. So have a look and see what the designs are. I am off work this week and next week. It's the school holiday, so I will be streaming quite a lot during the days, maybe in the evenings. Not every day and not all the time, of course, and things like that. But I'll be around a lot more than usual. So if you've enjoyed tonight, you want to see me play some other stuff as well. Clary will be doing some bits and bobs with us. I'm sure we'll do everything from Heyday to Playdate or whatever. So you know, come on to the show, to the channel at other times. Earn yourself some Addy Gold. Maybe get yourself an opportunity to be on the stream at other points as well. All right, boys and girls. You know what? You were fantastic, and even more than that, so was I. Bye bye.